Hello, myself Sunil Nair. Here, basically, we are discussing about the topic that is earthquakes, which is directly going to connect. So, one of the person told that basically what actually earthquake is and how basically this is connecting to the currencies basically. Then he told that yeah, basically earthquake basically is whenever the building is going to move left side, building is going to right side. That is earthquake actually. Then it's told that basically how basically this everything is controlled here basically. So he told that basically this all are basically the set of energy basically which is controlling. For example, the building, if building is moving left side, if building is moving right side, that is earthquake. That is given the name as a earthquake. That basically English group has basically given the name, but connected with the German group also. So like this, one of the person basically told that uh, up to what level the earthquakes are basically connected. Then he told that basically earthquakes are connected up to very depth level basically. So mostly basically few people says that basically it's connected with the tectonic plates. So now basically one person told that with how the trains basically are handled basically. So then basically in last video basically we have already saw like the how the trains are basically getting handled. So in this one person told that basically you want to say this train basically this basically then it was, yes basically you can't see, you can see this train na, basically this train basically track basically which is getting controlled where basically 3,000 to 4,000 people basically are traveling in Mumbai city in per train basically. How basically they they are basically getting controlled basically from few tracks and from few basically the power supply which is coming from the power basically, that basically can't control the entire the local trains here basically. That is basically how basically that we have already discussed basically. So one person told that basically that example which we have given in last video basically, for that basically you want to say around 1800 planets basically are created here basically. 1800 planets basically. Then he told that yes, 1800 planets basically are created and they are basically handling the entire railway system basically of the world basically. Then he told that how many planets are connected with the India basically land, because India land basically totally land basically is different. Public are different basically. Blood cells of the public are different. Each and everything basically are different basically. Then how basically they created the planets? For that basically they have created the planet with the help of the doctors basically, that are the energy doctors are there, nuclear power company basically are there, energy power company are there. In India basically there are Reliance is there, IPCL is there, then Ames Oxygen is there, like this ONGC is there basically. These all are the big companies here basically, the big power companies basically, who are basically giving the data basically. That means he told that basically directly basically they are giving the data. Wow basically. Then few told that basically they are giving directly data also basically giving, and like this basically the satellite groups are also basically controlled, because from few power supply basically chain and from the few tracks basically the entire big 1 lakh kilogram train basically can't be controlled basically. That is logically basically, you just think logically. Then he told that exactly basically you are correct here. So that was the planet basically 1800 planet basically, which are created by the earth planet only, and they are basically in the India land basically, that are the Indian railway track basically. Assume that in India basically there are around uh, uh, 5 lakh track. Assume that 6 lakh track basically, 7 lakh track, chalo. 7 lakh tracks basically are there in India. So how many power supply basically is required? That is the one thing. Then basically he told that basically how many tracks, that is 6 to 7 lakh track. So to 6 to 7 lakh track to control basically how many planet basically might require here basically. Then he told that basically I think 120 100 or 120 or 111 basically track is required basically. So take it between the 111 and 120 planets basically are required. So 120 and 100, between 110 and 120 the planets basically is created, right? Then he told that yes basically. So 100 and between 111 and 112 basically the planet basically are created. Then he told that yes basically this much planet basically are created. So 111 basically planet created, 112 120 planet created. Assume that the planet is between 111 and 120. So this much planet has created from India land only basically. Then he told that yes, basically exactly India land only basically created the that much planet basically. That much planet basically. Because it's a India land basically. So in India land only India basically data is can be used. So one of the person asked the question basically. Then how about the power supply here basically? Because Mumbai gets power supply from more than 100 country. Then he told that yes, yeah, that is also correct basically. That is also basically correct. That is also handling the data. That means you want to say that India land data, which is coming from, which is basically coming from that satellite. That is, I think, 120, 111 to 20 planets basically. That data plus this 100 and more than 100 countries data. So how basically this is getting handled here basically here? It's very not tough basically. Then one of the person told that it's very dangerous here basically, not tough basically you can say. Then one of the person told that basically the Indian railway that is running that is some magical thing basically, some magical group are basically running that Indian railway basically. Then how basically one of the person told that more than 100 country basically are giving the power, right? 111 to 120 planets are also giving the power, that is with the help of the satellites, plus 100 sorry 1 lakh kilogram train basically is moving, plus 3000 public are moving. This is not magic basically. That also speed basically, just to see the speed of the local trains of the Mumbai. Here basically I have taken the example of Mumbai local train. It can be any because it can be any railway basically. It can be any country's railway basically. Nowadays basically it's a metropolitan city basically. The metro has created, bullet train has created. Like this also basically idea is there basically. Like this also basically ideas are basically there. Like this also basically ideas are basically there. So like this he told that so the train basically which is running, that is running with the help of this 111 to 120 planets, or basically it's running on the base of this power supply. That basically was the question basically. Then one person told that let me do one thing, let me check this basically. Let me check basically this. Then he told that basically can we remove this satellite this data basically, or basically satellite data, so that basically we can test really basically the 111 and 120 satellite sorry the planets basically are giving planet data or not basically. So for that basically one of the Indian person told that from how basically we can contact the people here basically, how basically we can contact the people basically. Then he told that basically that is also correct here basically, how we can contact the people, how we can reach up to that people basically who is basically handling this all this thing basically, this railway entire system basically. Then he told that basically that need to the Indian Prime Minister basically is there, Indian President are there basically, that from that basically we can track the information basically, how the things are basically running. We need to clear the picture here basically, otherwise basically in future anything will happen, then basically who will be responsible here basically. Then he told that you are correct here basically, you are correct, that also earth planet is also moving, that also you have to see. So each and everything basically you have to see it. After that only you can make the decision basically. Then he told that yes, yeah, first is earth planet is moving at the certain direction, that basically you have to see first, then only basically you can take this action basically. Because on the basis of just checking, on the basis of just verification, you can't create the entire earth planet in the trouble basically. You have to think that first basically. You can't create the to just for verification, you can't you can't basically take the entire earth planet in trouble and entire universe in trouble basically. You can't do that like this basically, just for checking and verification you have done this. That basically somebody group asked the question basically, just for verification purpose, whether the 120 basically satellites basically really are 111 to 120 satellites are really basically they are giving the power supply basically, just on the verification of that purpose basically, how you can take the entire universe into trouble basically. Then he told that basically exactly you are correct. So in next video basically we are going to see